Rain, the official Vegas drink. No, I can't do it all in one. Stone lifting the Stanley Cup. Yeah! Let's go! Go, let's go! Why? Oh my goodness! Yeah, he's gorgeous. I never thought I'd see that in a hockey game. That's good. It's been a couple days since that game 6, and I really figured there's only really one way I can recreate the energy for that, and that's by drinking 300 milligrams of caffeine. Fun fact. Caffeine starts to be absorbed in the mouth, and I learned that in my chemistry class. The Vegas Golden Knights win 6-3 against the Colorado Avalanche in Game 6 to clinch the series, again in T-Mobile, to move on to the 3rd round to play the Montreal Canadiens. Well, that was a lot of information in one sentence. Which means for the 3rd time in our team's 4-year history, we've gone to the conference finals. And I mean, the 2nd year when the Sharks made it to the conference finals, it could have been us technically, but we're not. I was at work the entirety of this game. Rachel was watching it kind of on the phone. There was like a demo version of the NBC Sports app, but when she was managing to watch it, she saw 2 goals. The first 2 Vegas ones, not the first 2 goals. Honestly, I'm still in disbelief. Like, I knew that our team was good, but beating Colorado in 6 is the only way that we really could have done it anyway. But winning 4 straight against them, Do you really think that Vegas can beat Colorado 4 out of 5 times? We can beat them 4 out of 4 times. I tweeted this before the game, but in my head, the way that you needed to win against this Colorado team, especially because you had that home ice advantage, you had the crowd at 100% capacity, is to score 2 goals quickly in a row. Didn't really matter if it was before or after Colorado or when, how early or whatever. It was really to just get the arena pumping and then just ride that energy the rest of the game. And well, Colorado in the middle of the first Go Knights Go chant of the game, 23 seconds in, Devon Toews streaming into the offensive zone, just puts it past Fleury to open the scoring 1-0 Colorado, and immediate silence, just whoosh over the crowd. When Theodore turns over the puck, or has a delay of game for that matter, which didn't happen this game, well, not from Theodore at least, it just seems to lead to the other team scoring. McKinnon's first point in, what, 3-4 games, and really could not have come at a better time, but Vegas, what you need to do is either right after them, score immediately, and well, in Game 6 I had chosen some game-winning goals by theme heading into overtime, just because, and the last sentence of that tweet was, guarantees the series, Nick Holden, and well, 52 seconds after this goal, Nick Holden kind of playing up, has a shot in the slot, but it's blocked by Colorado, and it kind of bounces over into the corner. Riley Smith goes to play it, and he kind of fakes a pass to Nick Waugh, who's behind the net, or where Grubauer is, and sends it up to Nick Holden again on the point. Nick Holden immediately just shoots it! And it goes in 5-hole on Grubauer because Grubauer has no idea where this puck is. He thought it went behind him and went to Waugh, and Waugh immediately went to the net, but Waugh was going to the net to try to get a deflection, and Philip Grubauer is just like, oh, he's going, he has the puck, and so he's looking over here, left this 5-hole wide open, and Nick Holden's puck streams in underneath him to tie the game 1-1. And as soon as he scored this, I was like, yep, we're winning this game, because that was the quickest response we could have, well, I mean, not technically, but had against Grubauer, and it was not a pretty goal, and it was Nick Holden, so obviously we were going to win the series. That didn't mean that the Colorado Avalanche were giving up, however, and they continued to trade chances with Vegas throughout the rest of this first period, really having quality shots for Vegas. Colorado had a bit, but not very dangerous, so Fleury still had to make some good saves though, and then Grubauer made some good saves until about 15 minutes into this first period. Marchessault dumps the puck in, goes over to try to get it. Carlson ends up getting it and skates back with it, sends it over to Martinez, who's on the other point. Martinez fakes a shot, hard passes it over to Carlson, and he one-times this thing, and it just barely squeaks through Grubauer's pad in the post to give Vegas the 2-1 lead. What a pass from Martinez. It was perfectly placed, and he faked that slapper really, really well, and it was just of a play. We go into the second period with a 2-1 lead. And remember when I said delayed game call? Well, Alex Pietrangelo sends the puck and it goes over the glass, and so it's a 2-minute minor. That's kind of a dumb penalty, right? Like 2 minutes for delaying the game by sending the puck over the goal. Like, just start it in the offensive zone for the other team. Like, am I saying that just because Vegas takes a lot of them? Vegas has one shorthanded opportunity about a minute into this, but it kind of leads to Colorado being able to have this chance. McKinnon streams in from the goalie's net, drops it for Rantanen, who then just comes all the way across, takes a shot, and goes past Fleury to tie the game 2-2. It deflects off of White Cloud's shin, and that's not good. But it's okay, Holden scored the first goal, and that means we're gonna win. And well, with about 5.5 minutes left in the second period, offensive zone faceoff wins. Theodore sends it back to Petro, who's manning the point, but Theodore, what? And he fires this thing kind of wide, but it's tipped by Kolazar. It goes perfectly past Grubauer to give Vegas the 3-2 lead. Again, just barely getting through Grubauer's pad in the post, but it goes in, and just like that, Vegas has the lead again! But Colorado answers again really quickly. Andre Burakovsky streaming in. Makar from behind Grubauer passes it up to Belmar, who streams in with a perfect pass over to Burakovsky, and Martinez gives him plenty of room, which isn't what Vegas has been doing to shut down the Colorado's lines this entire 4-game stretch, where they've been trying to be aggressive and break up the play, make them stop, and then if they happen to get past, rely on Fleury to make the save. But instead of that, Martinez gives him plenty of space, so he has a ton of speed coming into the zone, and he has this quick shot that he fires and uses Martinez as the screen to go past Fleury to tie the game 3-3. Far side off the post and in, and it's not one that you like going in, especially with Fleury, but like, I mean, it is what it is, and so it's 3-3, and we're towards the end of the second period, so we're gonna go into the third tied, except with about 25 seconds left, Nemeth tries to make a pass in his defensive zone, but it gets mixed up with Pacioretty, and so he ends up grabbing the puck and forcing a turnover. There's a lot that happens here very, very quickly too, and props to the Golden Knights for being able to have this kind of like cohesive nature that just allow for this to happen, but the puck trickles all the way over to the left side. Alex Tuch, as the puck's just coming to him, winds up, takes the slapper, but misses, tries to go short side, it bounces off the end boards and back across, but Alex Pietrangelo just went to the net. What offensive instincts here. he got through all of Colorado, so he's all alone as the puck's coming over back to him, and Grubauer tries to get over to save it, but he kind of falls in the process, leaving the entire top of the net open, so all Petro has to do is raise the puck, and he does to net his first to the playoffs and makes it a 4-3 Vegas lead with like 20 seconds left in the period, and such a ballbuster of a goal for to go into the third period, riding this momentum that Vegas has just created for themselves. So let me get this straight. Nick Holden scores a goal for us, and Carlson scores, which, you know, is okay, and then Kolazar scores a goal, and Petra scores a goal. They all scored a goal. Yeah, I think we're gonna win this 1 in 6. It wasn't easy though, because 6 minutes into the third period, there's a face-off in Colorado's offensive zone, our defensive zone. They win it. Saad sends it back. Timmins grabs it. Tries to take a shot, but it's blocked in front, and the puck bounces off of Vegas player and just trickles over to Saad, who's wide open in the slot. It's got a little bit of room to shoot, but Nichushkin is wide open on the other side, and no one's around him. That's what wide open means, Tyler. Sends it over to Nichushkin, who then just tries to rifle this past Fleury, but Fleury just lightning fast just goes nope, and saves this so incredible save, up 4-3. But he doesn't have the puck, and the puck comes back out, and Nichushkin's still right there, so he tries to get it over his pad, but Fleury stops it again. About 5 minutes later, fourth line is on the ice, and that's always exciting times, right? Puck sent back to McNabb, who passes it over to Theodore, who then just tries to one-time this, and it's triple deflected. The initial shot goes off of Newhook's stick, and then Tuck's stick, and then Carrier's stick behind Grubauer to give Vegas a 2-goal lead, 5-3 with about 8 minutes left. So Holden, Carlson, and then Kolazar, Petro, and Carrier all scored for us in one game. Of course we're gonna win this game. They pull Grubauer with about 4 minutes left, and I'm so wanting Marc-Andre Fleury to get this empty net goal, but Martinez fires the puck from our defensive zone to try to go into the net, and it's batted down by McKinnon with about 3 minutes left, and no one goes for the puck except for Pacioretty, who somehow went into the offensive zone as McKinnon deflects it down, and he grabs it, shoots it, gets into the empty net to make it 6-3 Vegas, but Colorado's still not going to give up, so they pull Grubauer again, and with about 2.5 minutes left, Marc-Andre Fleury does try to take a shot, but it gets batted down in center ice, and it looked pretty good. Man, I want him to get a goal so bad, and that's his second shot of the playoffs where he's trying to get an empty net goal, and oh man, could you imagine that happening in the Stanley Cup Finals if we get there? And it's like not the game winner, obviously, but like that would oh my gosh, but Vegas wins 6-3 against the Colorado Avalanche, and my goodness, what a series. This is definitely the hardest series that Vegas has ever had to win. Even though it didn't go to 7 games. Against the Wild, we didn't have Pacioretty until game 7, and Pacioretty has been a huge difference maker in this series, but Colorado definitely was tougher to play against. We immediately had to adjust our style and stuff. We're not losing 7-1 to the Minnesota Wild, so this game was the perfect game that exemplified both Colorado and Vegas this series, because it's just as soon as Colorado scored, and then Vegas scores, and then Vegas scores, and then Colorado answers, and then Vegas scores, and then Colorado answers, and then Vegas barely gets one back in the second period. But like all of those goals that the second and third goal that were scored just barely squeaked past Grubauer, and if he makes the save on the Holden shot, if he had followed that, if he makes either of those 2 other saves, it's a completely different game. And if we went back to Colorado for game 7, I don't know that we would have won. In my opinion, we stole game 5 the same way that Colorado stole game 2, both in overtime. But this series, oh man, there's a reason my reaction to game 5 was as intense as it was. And Colorado, my goodness, props to that team. They are an incredible opponent to play against, and the fact that we had to go through them to get to the conference finals, it's nuts. Our next game is Monday against the Montreal Canadiens for game 1 of round 3. And I'm excited. The Montreal Canadiens have upset every series so far, coming back from a 3-1 deficit against Toronto, and I mean, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, but like Vegas also like to make things hard on themselves, so I wouldn't be surprised necessarily to see this go 6 or 7. But my prediction is Vegas in 5. I think it'll be a gentleman's sweep, and we'll win it again on T-Mobile's in T-Mobile Arena, because that's just the way that it seems so far. The thing I'm most concerned about is our scoring, which has appeared against Grubauer in these last 4 games, but playoff Carey Price is something, is a monster, and I am not looking forward to that. And our scoring dried up last season against Vancouver and Dallas, and then a little bit against Minnesota in the beginning of the series. But it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward and how we're able to respond. We're just going on to the conference finals. Fleury versus Price, Pacioretty versus Suzuki and Tatar if he gets back into the series, and John Merrill, elite forward, against his old team, and it'll be an interesting series for sure. That's gonna be it for round 2, game 6's nightly review. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good night.